Welcome to day 6 of the Ben Greenfield Quest. Today's focus is metabolic efficiency and recovery. Now, metabolic efficiency, very simply put, is your ability to be able to tap into your own fat as a fuel, to be able to create energy yourself in a very efficient way, metabolically, without relying on energy bars and sports drinks and stimulants. Now, this is important for a couple of reasons. First of all, lowered amounts of things like visceral fat and adipose fat tissue, to a certain extent, are actually associated with increased longevity. And this is because excess fat tends to churn out inflammation, and inflammation decreases longevity. Now, in addition to that, as you would imagine, the ability to be able to convert fat cells into other cells or to kill fat cells will result in a decreased body fat percentage, and that's of course going to improve your aesthetics and your beauty. Now, in addition to metabolic efficiency, the other focus for today is recovery. Your ability to be able to finish a workout and to be able to bounce back as quickly as possible after that workout. This allows you to set up habits and routines that you can engage in day after day without experiencing injury or overtraining or burnout. Now, one other little thing that I want to mention that I put into the category of recovery, but that I want to make sure that I define for you, is this idea of mobility. Now, mobility is something that I do little bits of each day in the same way that you're going to do during this quest. And while it certainly does help with recovery, I'm also a big fan of mobility, these things like foam rolling or using little exercise balls or other pieces of equipment to adjust certain areas of your body, because it also vastly improves your symmetry, the curvature of your low back, whether one shoulder is higher than another, whether your hips are aligned properly. And this also plays in quite nicely to the beauty component. So we've got metabolic efficiency, and we've also got recovery that we're going to be pursuing in day 6, along with, as part of recovery, a focus on mobility. So here are the practices that you're going to engage in for metabolic efficiency and for recovery. First of all, each day you're going to do what I call a fasted fat-burning walk. Now, for me personally, I discovered while competing in Ironman triathlon that for me to maintain really good power to weight ratio, in other words, for me to be able to maintain a lean body composition year round, one of the best tools in my toolbox was simply getting up in the morning and doing an easy, fasted, fat-burning exercise session, all aerobic. For me, sometimes it was a swim, sometimes it was a bike, sometimes a yoga session, but ultimately the easiest, lowest hanging fruit that just about anybody can do upon waking up in the morning in a fasted state is a walk out your front door and back. So that's going to be one of your daily practices, and your other daily practice is based on this concept of hormesis. See, the body responds quite well when it comes to metabolic efficiency and when it comes to fat loss and even recovery with brief intermittent exposures to cold and to heat. What I mean by that is by doing something as simple as taking a quick cold shower at the beginning or the end of the day, and also exposing yourself to some kind of a sweat. I personally like a sauna, but any type of heat exposure will do, including just going outside in the afternoon for an exercise session. You're going to get all of those benefits. So now, in addition to that, I would highly encourage you to launch into a daily prehab and mobility routine, which I've worked into this quest. Every morning, I wander down from my bedroom, I put on the water for coffee, and I start to steep my French press coffee that I have each morning. And while that coffee water is heating, and then while the French press is steeping, I am afforded about 10 to 15 minutes to be able to do just about anything I want to do that makes my body better. And it doesn't have to be the same thing each day. Some days I'm stretching my hamstrings, other days I'm taking a foam roller to my quadriceps, other days I'm doing a shoulder mobility routine. But by engaging in something each day, something that I call prehab or mobility, I'm adding all those minutes up throughout the week to really make my body better with a simple morning routine. Now, in addition to these daily practices of hormesis and fasted morning fat burning and some kind of prehab or mobility, there's a couple of other weekly practices that we want to incorporate for this recovery and metabolic efficiency component. One is going to be a weekly visit to a sauna for a longer sweat, a longer detoxification. It can be an infrared sauna, it can be a dry sauna, it can even be a wet sauna or a steam room, anything that exposes you to heat and sweat. In addition to that, you're also going to be doing a weekly yoga session to work on not only the benefits of mobility that come with yoga, but also the drop in blood pressure, the decreased stress, the increased focus on developing positive breathwork patterns, and the enormous variety of benefits that come with a weekly yoga session. Next, number 3, is your foundation or core training. I discovered this style of training from a chiropractic doc named Dr. Eric Goodman, who developed this special form of breathing called decompression breathing. And he combined this with specific moves done to decompress the low back and strengthen the core. By doing this type of core foundation training session on a weekly basis, you're going to make your low back relatively impervious to stress and eliminate a lot of the low back pain that a lot of people tend to develop and have to deal with over the course of their life. You're also going to develop very positive and efficient breathing patterns that enhance recovery and mobility. And then finally, you're going to be doing a weekly foam rolling session. This is a little bit different than the morning prehab or mobility that you do. It's an actual structured session designed to allow you to learn how to do yourself what you might otherwise pay a massage therapist to do. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of massage therapy, but I'm also a fan of learning how to use a foam roller to address things like cross-linking and fascial adhesions and a lot of the issues that tend to creep up and cause excess soreness or increased risk of injury. So on a weekly basis, you're going to eliminate a lot of those risks by learning a really good foam rolling routine that I've designed for you. So at this point in the quest, you've already amassed just about all of the equipment that you'll need to get through the next 7 weeks. However, today is, in essence, a free day. It's a chance for you to go back and identify any pieces of equipment or any crucial items that you need that you may have not been able to get yet. This is your chance now to identify and procure those items so you're completely ready for the next 7 weeks.